You finally have a free afternoon. Nothing scheduled, no deadline breathing down your neck. You sit down to rest, and within about 4 minutes, a small, uncomfortable thought creeps in. You should be doing something. You tell yourself you're just being productive-minded. But the real reason is far stranger. You're not actually worried about wasted time. You're responding to a belief so old and so deeply installed that you don't experience it as a belief anymore. It just feels like the truth. Why would resting, something your body clearly needs, trigger the same discomfort as failing at something? A psychologist named Christina Maslach spent decades studying burnout, and one pattern she kept finding wasn't just that people were overworked. Many had internalized the idea that their value as a person was tied directly to their output. Once that belief takes hold, rest doesn't feel like recovery. It feels like a temporary suspension of your worth. Here's where it gets stranger. A researcher named Claudia Hammond led a massive study called the Rest Test, surveying over 18,000 people worldwide about how they experience rest. The people who rested the most reported the highest well-being, but many of those same people also admitted they felt guilty while doing it. Knowing something is good for you and feeling permitted to do it turn out to be two completely different things. So where does the guilt come from, if not from logic? It comes from a quiet inheritance most people never examine. For generations, busyness became a moral signal. Being tired was proof you were disciplined. Being idle was proof you weren't. Nobody said this out loud. You absorbed it the same way you absorbed your accent until it stopped sounding like an opinion and started sounding like a fact. Now here's the twist. You'd think the fix is to earn your rest first, to schedule it, to reward yourself with relaxation only after enough tasks are done. But a psychologist named Sonia Lyubomirsky, who studies happiness, found something that undercuts that entire strategy. People who tie rest to performance tend to feel less restored by the rest they do get because it isn't actually restful. It's just another transaction. You're still keeping score, even while lying still. If your rest depends on proving you deserve it first, you never actually leave work mode. You've just changed its location. So what happens once you can see this pattern clearly? You start noticing the moment guilt shows up during rest, and instead of treating it as useful information telling you to get up, you can treat it as an old recording playing in the background. Not a fact. A habit of thought that formed long before you had any say in it. You can feel the itch to get up and still choose to stay still, the same way you can feel a craving and choose not to act on it. You finally have a free afternoon. Nothing scheduled, no deadline breathing down your neck. And this time, when the itch to get up arrives, you recognize it for what it's always been. Not a warning, just an old, well-worn habit of thought, quietly asking you to prove, once again, that you've earned the right to simply be still.